are shining bright here on the ranch. We had such a great show. As you know, we span the globe to bring you the best in indie Americana music. And we are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, which is just a great stop for indie music. If you want to showcase your music, it's a great platform where you can distribute your music. You can also connect with other podcasts and radio stations. It's just a great place to go. Then Hotel Universe for all your video needs, all kinds of cool stuff happening there. And To the Max Advertising also hooked me up with that great banner. So they're also very kind to indie artists. So tell them Randie sent you. And we span the globe. We've been all over the place. We've been in the UK. We've been in Scotland. And then we went to the swamps last week. So now I'm really excited for tonight. A good friend of mine is coming on board today because she's got some new music that she wants to share. Rachel and I go way back. So let's bring on Rachel Dara. We're going to Nova Scotia, Canada.
Hello. Montreal, pretty close.
Montreal. You are closer to me than Florida, actually.
That's pretty cool because Florida's pretty far away. Florida's like maybe a 24-hour drive from where I am. So
it is a long drive for me too.
Yeah.
And and I could get to Montreal like a lot quicker. I don't know why I don't go north more.
You are always welcome here. Thanks for having me on, Randie. It's always good to see you.
Always my pleasure. Always my pleasure. And I mean, we connect on a lot of different levels. And even my Mindful Mondays, I'm just so excited that somebody watches those.
Of course. Often, especially last year, Mondays were very, very intense days for me. And I spend a lot of time on TikTok. So I'm scrolling and I see your Mindful Mondays and I actually watch them. And sometimes I go through the comment sections and it makes me really happy when I see random positive comments, because I see, like, when I'm not commenting, someone else is, and someone's engaging with it and someone's connected to it. And that just makes me so happy to see. Like, I've seen some random positive comments on it. Hello, Eric. And I love it. I love your Mindful Mondays.
Oh, thank you so much. I have so much fun doing it. It keeps me grounded because I ran anxiety groups for like 20 years and I missed it when I stopped. I'm actually at it again. But so I kept the Mindful Mondays, and it's hard to get it into like a minute sound bite. But the most random people come up to me and like say they listen, and I'm like, that is the coolest thing. I love that.
Of course, there's always people listening. Really.
Yeah, and you don't know it. Like, you random comments from people you don't know, and that's true of music too.
100%. Yeah.
Like, when you get a comment, somebody said to me, my song Olivia, which is about domestic violence, and someone, texted me and said, it's because of you, me listening to that song and over, I got strong enough that I actually press charges now. And I'm like, wow.
That's huge. That's really huge.
See what happens when women stick together? I mean, it's just amazing.
100%. Especially in this industry. There's so many stories. And first off, I love the fact that I'm being interviewed by, number one, someone I know, and number two, a female musician who does very similar things to the music I make.
Yeah.
100%.
It is amazing. And you're starting your journey. So it's been amazing watching you, even over the last 2 years, just blossom and grow. Your confidence has grown so much.
I'm really, really trying. Yeah. Thank you for watching. And I love watching your stuff. And I love that we have this dynamic going on.
Yeah. Yeah. That we've been kind of following each other and watching each other. We met, so for people watching, we met at the International Songwriter Association Award Show. And people think the music business is cutthroat. It is in certain ways, but at this event, it was just such supportive people rooting for everybody.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And, I was happy for the people who were winning, and, listening to the great songs and meeting other fellow musicians was just the coolest thing ever.
We met in a hotel. It was so cool.
Yeah, in the hallway. Didn't I almost run you down or something?
I think I honestly don't remember. I just remember us bumping into each other.
Yeah, we almost like I was turning a corner. I had something in my hand, and you were coming out a door, and was like almost this big collision.
Yeah,
and I'm like looking at you, and
I was like, "You look like an artist. You definitely make music. What's your name?" And then we just,
yeah. And I actually knew your dad.
You did.
Yeah, ABC. He actually, if you go to my website, he redid my website. Actually,
that's so cool. That's really cool. Yeah, my dad loves doing that.
Yeah, I envy the musical families.
Yeah, I actually, I come from a cool family, as in, I wouldn't consider it a musical family because I'm like the only person in my immediate family who plays music. But I come from a family where it's just all structured. Like, it was very, very convenient for me to be a musician because my mom's in law and like works for the government and knows about copyrights and knows about legal issues. And my dad is a web marketer, works with like websites and social media. And it was convenient. So both of them learned about music.
Right. And they knew what to do with the music once it was made. That's the huge learning curve for all of us.
There was a lot to learn, actually. So especially my dad, who knows like a lot more now, both of us, we learned a lot over the course of like 4 years, just because it was interesting to him. And it ended up introducing him to other artists like you. So it's super cool that ended up happening, because like it's once again, you never know where life is going to take you, and it took us here.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
So you kind of had the leg up on some of us with having that type of support.
It was great. I'm very, very grateful for my parents. I'm very grateful that they support me and that they're also interested in just protecting me and learning about it. It's not something that everybody has. And I've always looked at musical families and thought like, oh, I've always wanted a musical family, but I don't need a musical family. I have a family that supports me. And
well, let's qualify that, because a musical family, it doesn't mean everyone's playing instruments. It's the love of music.
It's the love of music. Yeah. My parents love music. I never thought about it that way. I mean,
your dad, he's all over the music scene.
Yeah, he loves music too. And my mom also is like, my mom grew up being a fangirl. She went to every single concert. She's into pop more, but I learned a lot of the music that I know through her, because she grew up in the 80s and was very, very let's say she was very into the music scene. Fun fact, my mom was on Dance Party USA when she was around my age. Her and her friends.
I'm sure you're only hearing about half that story.
Yeah. She met she met a girl. She told me some crazy stories. Kelly, you know that show host Kelly. It'll come to me. She's blonde. Kelly Ripa. Yeah, she danced with Kelly Ripa.
No way.
Yeah. It was crazy.
So cool.
Yeah. Thank you for that reminder. I couldn't remember her name. Kelly Ripa.
I don't know why I'm thinking Kelly on TV, and the only one that came to my mind was Kelly Ripa.
So my mom danced with Kelly Ripa, and I got here.
Clarkson is not blonde, so
no.
So
yeah, I was very tempted to say Kelly Clarkson, but I couldn't put my finger on the name of the artist.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure when you decided you wanted to play instruments and stuff, they were like 100%.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Like they really didn't think about it, and then I just begged my parents for guitar lessons, and my dad was like, "Okay, here you go," and I got guitar lessons. It's really like it really depends on the kid. I wanted nothing to do with piano. Now I want to learn how to play piano, but that's a different story. But I wanted nothing to do with piano because I just didn't connect with it. But the guitar, like things with strings, just interested me. I found it so cool because it is so cool. It's you have strings on this little box and it moves and it makes noise and it's I love it.
Yeah. Cool stuff. But we're going to hear your first song in a couple seconds or two.
100%.
And it's an interesting song to start with because it's called 18 and it shows the struggles of an 18-year-old. What's it like to be an 18-year-old?
So I actually wrote that song when I was 14, and I wrote it about what I thought being 18 would be like. And it's funny that you asked me that question, because now I'm actually 18 years old, and the song is still relevant. And even when I won't be 18 years old anymore, it's still relevant, because I just thought that my whole life would change when I would turn 18. And honestly, you know, it happens for some people. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, things don't really change that much about you as a person. It's more like everyone's life changes at some point. It doesn't have to happen when you're 18, but at the same time, I just didn't really want to lose my reliance on people, because I have a hard time being independent. Especially at that point, I felt very behind in my life. I felt like I was still latched onto my parents, and I didn't really know how to get places and how to do things. I still don't know some things. Like, I can't cook. Like, I learned how to make pasta last year. That's a big thing for me. But I'm a lot more independent and experienced than I was 4 years ago. And honestly, I look at the lyrics of that song and I think I kind of predicted things, and my life is a lot more balanced than I thought it would be. I thought I'd have to pick between one life and the other life, but I could just do both, and I'm very lucky to have people who support me.
Right.
And yeah, but at the same time, not knowing where you're going to be in the future is something that stresses me out, and I'm sure it stresses a lot of other people out. And that's basically what the song is about.
And this is a live performance. How long have you been playing live?
I played my first show live as an artist in 2019, in July of 2019. So
okay, and how old were you then?
I was 12.
You were 12.
Yeah. I definitely didn't look 12. That's another thing. I grew very early when I was younger, so I've been 5'6" since I was 11 years old. I was fully grown by the time I was like 12. And I just did not look like I was 12 years old, but I was, and you can hear it in my voice and the way I say things and the way I sing things. But I'm still proud of myself, because I remember that adrenaline I had going onto stage for the first time, and it was a little nerve-wracking because I'd never done it before, but I've been hooked ever since.
You know what I did when I first played live? Well, I had a band back in the day, but when I did my first solo project, I decided I'm going to play guitar. I gave myself a year to learn how to play guitar.
Nice.
And I played this gig in the city I set up, right?
Yeah.
And all my friends from work piled in their cars. We drove to the city, and I'm like, you're an idiot. You have half the school here watching you the first time you've ever played and sang at the same time. And I was up there shaking. You know, it was like.
But at the same time, it's a story. It's a story.
It's a story. It's a story. Yeah. So how old were you when you actually with this live performance, and where were you?
I was 16. This was February of 2023. Yeah, I was 16. I was in Toronto playing a show, and this was live recorded. And honestly, I still use this video because I like how I sounded. But the way I spoke,
it's a good live mix, I have to tell you. I don't always get good live mixes, and I won't play them on the show, but I like this mix.
Oh yeah, I like this mix too. It was very, very well done, and that's why I use this video. Even though I'm not a fan of my intro, because I've played about maybe like 40, 35 shows since then, which is crazy to me. But I'm just proud of the way that I've evolved as an artist over the past two years, a year and a half, because I don't speak like that anymore. I don't know why I spoke nervously. I might be being hard on myself, but I was just so excited and I kind of forgot what to say.
Oh yeah, we do that a lot.
We
that
do,
a lot.
and it's
Get
okay.
this whole spiel in your head, and you
Yeah.
get it as blah blah blah. Okay, I'm gonna play now.
100%.
All right, let's listen to your performance. You're only 16, singing a song, what it's going to be like to be 18.
Yeah.
Any of us out there, and I know some people are watching, can relate.
My name is Rachel Dara, and I tell stories. And tonight, I'm going to tell you about what it's like to be scared of growing up. This one's called 18. If I was a dog, would you tell me to heal? And if I were a man, would you tell me to steal? If I were naive, would you tell me to skip my second meal? I haven't been asked this 'cause they know me well. I'm not stupid enough to fall under their spell. There will be a day when I'm too old to ask for help. But what do I do when I'm all alone? And by the law, I'm considered grown. When I try to call, they don't pick up the phone. 'Cause I'm young at heart and I'm old at soul. What do I do when I'm 18 and I can't get no one to save me? If I had the thought, choosing wisely, how the hell am I gonna fall asleep? I don't want no one to hurt me, whether it be a friend or a memory. What do be with my anxiety and everything that's bottled up inside of me when I'm 18? Oh, when I'm 18. When I'm 18, da 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 da. Stuck in old cars, legal and lost. Don't wanna be that way then, or in present days, out or at home. I'm young and alone. Where will I be when I'm 6 times 3 and on my own?
Oh, Rachel, and we're back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7 and my indie music radio coming out of France on Thursdays, which always glad to have you guys on board. So thanks for everyone listening. This is an interactive show. So if you have any comments for Rachel on her song 18, we'd love to hear it. It was a great live sound performance. We don't always get audio like that. And that was really, really well done. You have some great lines in there.
Thank you.
And you can emote like nobody's business.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You hear it.
I'm a big moper. I'm a big whiner. I've always been a good complainer.
You do it so convincingly. Like, if I was a dog, would you tell me to heel? Like,
yeah, that's why I'm good at debates.
Opening lines.
Yeah, I do that. I actually really like to do that. And I think that's like my main strategy in songwriting. Like, kind of compare feelings to random things and random actions. Like, I do that like every time I write a song. Every song I have, there's something like that in there. It's just common. It's just what I do.
Well, you don't like that intro, but I do because you are a storyteller.
Oh, I like that intro. I'm actually proud of it. It's
it's a good solid intro. And you know how Rachel, I'm a storyteller. And I just read an interview with Luke Bryan and Bruce Springsteen and Rolling Stone.
Really, that's a cool interview.
Yeah, Luke interviewed Bruce, and they do that once a quarter or something. They have stars, songwriters interviewing songwriters, and it's a really cool series. And he made a comment. Bruce made a comment that he doesn't care. He wants to be known as a storyteller songwriter.
That's how I want to be known. Yeah,
and not a country artist or a rock artist or whatever. He wants to be known as a storyteller, as a songwriter.
My
And
main thing is I'm a storyteller. I'm a songwriter. That's what I do. I like to sing. Singing is fun, but my main thing is I write songs.
I want to make the audience feel what I'm feeling.
100%. Yeah.
And to me, that's what a good artist is going to do. And not all songs tell a story. Mine kind of do. Yours do.
Yeah.
And you kind of emote that way. So what's your writing process? You start with lyrics? Do you start with melody?
Honestly, I just do them both. I do them both as they go. Sometimes I'll have a melody before lyrics. I never start with lyrics. I can never write lyrics and then put them onto a melody unless I already have a melody in mind. Otherwise, it's just not going to work for me. I'm a very blended person. I need things to blend. I need everything to be a part of it. And
Eric says, that is one amazing performance. I have chills. I agree. You really capture a human condition and the fragility of human spirits lyrically.
Thank you, Eric. Eric is a very, very, very dedicated person. He's been coming to almost all of my shows. Since April. He's amazing. Really, really great. Shout out to Eric Meta and to Jess Cumberbush.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a very emotional, and that, for a teenager, all teenagers have angst, but for you to be able to put it into words and really express how that feels, lyrically and emotionally,
Thank you.
Is something else. It's a step above like Admiral Lorraine. You really kind of very soulful about it.
I appreciate it. That's, I mean, I'm so inspired by the music I listen to. So putting my thoughts together, I kind of do it because I'm learning from the best. So that's basically my process. I listen and I learn, but it's the only way I could put my feelings into words because I have a hard time expressing myself verbally. Took a lot of practice to be able to do these interviews.
And I know you 2 years ago, and again, I watched your confidence, your head come up when you walk onto stage, now.
Thank you.
And it takes a lot of courage, number one, to sing your heart, and number two, to do it in front of, so many people when people start watching.
Yeah. I really love it. I love what I do. And thank you for noticing that, because it's also like an internal journey where you have to have more belief in yourself. And I feel like I believe in myself a lot more than I did 2 years ago. And I'm much more like open to learning things than I did 2 years ago. And I know more about this than I did 2 years ago.
Yeah. And every time you go into the studio too, it's a songwriting journey and process as well.
Yeah. I actually write at home and I bring my stuff to the studio. But everything is a process. Even being in the studio, like I recorded an EP this summer in Toronto, and there's 3 songs on that EP, and we spent 10 hours the first day recording and like 11 hours the next day in studio recording. So we really, really spent lots of time in there. And I'm saying we because I had a band in the studio.
That's exciting when you start adding so many layers.
Yes, it really, really is exciting. I'm very excited for people to hear it, actually. It's a project that it's more recent, but I'm very, very excited to put this out in the world. One of the songs on that EP just won a singing competition, and got me a spot at the Montreal Fringe Festival, which is a bigger festival here.
That's exciting.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, you should be.
Thank you.
What song was that?
So it's a song called Daddy's Money. It's I actually wrote the song while I was out in Nova Scotia recording my first album, which is now out on all platforms. Every single song is now out as a single. I'm still yet to release the album as in an album format or as an album format, but all the music is there. and it's all ready to be streamed.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Very much so.
Is the next song going to be on that? It's going to be Go Home Johnny?
The next song, Go Home Johnny, is on this album that I just released. It's called The Next Big Invention. And yes, 100%. It was recorded in Nova Scotia with the amazing Mark Howard in his cabin studio, where I recorded these 8 songs. And I just released the title track of that album. Go Home Johnny was the second to last release of the album. So it's very exciting and lots of stories about that song.
Well, how did you find your producer?
Mark, very, very chill guy. You know, he has so much experience, but he's so attentive, very easy to work with, very easygoing. He's seen it all. So it's very easy to work with him. He's not demanding, but when you say something, when he says something, you got to listen. It's mutual respect there. So I tell him how I like it and he respects that. But at the same time, he puts in his suggestions and it's a good dynamic. So I really liked working with Mark. And
unless you work with a producer, you don't understand the give and take of it. You hand them your child.
Yeah.
And 100%. You say, make it better, make it come to life. And it is this process that you trust them so much. It's what you're paying them for. That's what you come to them for.
Yeah.
And, you turn it over and to know that they have the respect to say, okay, I don't think that's quite the direction. I think I need a little bit more of this,
Yes. And I really like that. He did exactly that. He suggested how I can make it better, but he also kept the song sounding like the song. And looking back at it that's my mom. That's my mom.
Hi, Mom.
Yes. Thank you, Mama. Looking back, because this was 3 years ago when I recorded this album, I've evolved a lot as an artist, and Mark was 100% right in what he suggested that I do with it. Because I was, at this point in my career, I was a very, very loud artist. I always felt the need to just scream, which is okay, because I was always playing live. I never really recorded in studio, but I was also learning how to use my head voice and how to do falsettos and how to sing without singing from my stomach all the time, which was cool. It's cool that I can do that. But I don't have to do it all the time.
Right. And it stylistically gives you a lot of room.
Yeah, totally.
And you can take songs, if you need to pick it up upbeat and get a little bit louder, you can do that. You can pull back.
Yeah, it was great that I was able to do that. And also listening to that music so much, because you listen to your music all the time when you're in the process of putting it out. Listening to it so much kind of changed my ear and made me realize how nice something can sound when it's more relaxed and when you don't feel like the person is trying to screech it out, that's not a word, is it?
Yeah, and you learn how to texture with background vocals. You learn how to texture with the different instruments, things that you're not saying.
Yeah.
And they could add to the feeling.
Totally. It's really, really great.
Yeah, I'm excited that you got to work with a band in a process like that. It's truly amazing.
Thank you. It's so I'm very much looking forward to putting out this next EP, which Between You and I is called Old in Soul and Young at Heart. And this was the first time I worked with a band in studio. So this was a different experience. I was working with Josh Goldman, who was my producer, my first guitar teacher when I was 9 years old. And he became my bassist and my keyboardist, in the band, which was super cool. But that's Between You and I.
No one's going to know. I will keep that secret with me always.
That's between you, I, and everybody else in this chat room.
All right. Why don't we listen to Go Home Johnny?
Let's take a listen to it.
on my street that gives me the creeps. And until now, it seemed normal to me. Before this happened, I wasn't scared of anything. But when I got back on the day of the tragedy, I passed an old shack to find a man just so raggedy. He seemed to know more about me than I did, and pretending not to be scared like how a big boy should. If he slowly opened my eyes, the old tiny was staring at me. He knew this water didn't have chlorine, and he said, "Go home, Johnny, go home. You just lost your best friend, but see, go home, Johnny, go home. Big boy's honest when somebody next to them is drowning. Go home, Johnny, go home. That little girl is more human than you'll ever be, unless you learn to see the bad things, the bad things. Now I'm running straight ahead, and before I left, the man screamed that I'm lucky I'm not dead. I'm 6 years old. What is that supposed to mean? If mom has all to say, I'm sweating from the neighbor's trampoline. But when I walked back in my wet t-shirt and blue jeans, I thought about what the old man had said to me. What did he mean by somebody was drowning? Is that why the little girl was crying? Go home, Johnny, go home. You just lost your best friend, but you didn't even see. Go home, Johnny, go home. Big boys honest when somebody next to them is drowning. Go home, Johnny, go home. That little girl is more human than you'll ever be, unless you learn to see the bad things, the bad things. Go home, Johnny, go home. You just lost your best friend, but you didn't even see. Go home, Johnny, go home. Big boys notice when somebody next to them is drowning. Go home, Johnny, go home. That little girl is more human than you'll ever be, unless you learn to see the bad things, the bad things. Oh, oh, oh.
All right. We are back live on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7 and going live on Indie Music Radio in France. We're so thrilled to be an international organization bringing you the best in indie music, indie Americana music. We are here with Rachel Dara with one of her latest releases, Go Home, Johnny.
Thank you once again for having me, Randie.
Who's Johnny?
Johnny is a name that I gave to this character. So basically, I wrote the song about a reoccurring dream that I had throughout childhood. These people never had names. But you know what? I feel like Johnny is the perfect name for a Midwest little boy who's being yelled at by some random old man he's never seen before coming out of a house. But basically, Johnny, this kid in my dream, whatever you want to call him, he witnessed a drowning. And he was a very minor, you know, when you have dreams and some people just appear in them and they don't really mean anything. He was a minor person in that dream, but I decided to make it into a story where what would happen if he tried to play it off as nothing, which is what he did. And I ended up making a moral of that story is, you know, no matter how hard your past is, if you don't face it and if you don't accept that it happened, then you'll never be able to move on. It'll always find you, like how that old man found him and kept screaming at him. This just happened. You just lost your best friend. You didn't even see. And in the story, there was a little girl who had also witnessed the drowning and went and told people. And that's what the reference to the little girl represents. So the thing is with this song, a lot of people might find it confusing, but it's a story. It doesn't really matter where it came from. There's a moral in it, and that's the point. That's why I wrote it. I wrote that song when I was 13, and at that time, that was I was very proud of that song because I was just starting to learn how to tell stories, and that to this day, I'm still very proud of that song because I like how I represented it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And trying to give the kid courage to face something he doesn't want to face, and that's the loss of his best friend.
Yeah, and more or less, I feel like all of us have experienced something where we have to face something that we don't want to face, and God forbid it be something like that. But regardless, there's a lot you could learn from that song.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, how many people have had a fight with their best friends and it's so traumatic, yet alone losing and witnessing the loss of your best friend.
Yeah,
you know?
That's unimaginably difficult. It's so harsh. And a lot of people, I was actually just learning about this in class, a lot of people's response to stress is avoidance. Response to being in distress is avoidance. But that could just make it worse. So this little boy avoiding it just made it worse.
Anxiety is fight, flight, or freeze, right? Yeah. And a lot of people avoid, freeze up, turn to alcohol, you know, anxiety, and other tactics and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing a teenager can learn is how to manage and be mindful with anxiety.
Yeah. 100%. And you know a lot about being mindful. So on this Mindful Monday, this is a very mindful conversation we're having.
Yeah. I sneak it into conversations all the time. People, sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't, but that's all right. But it is they would be so far ahead of where I was at that point. I took anxiety, up into my 20s, 30s, and still couldn't deal with where it came from, and had some good people, help me backtrack and go through it, but now we're songwriters and we write about it.
That's it. I'm an anxious person, and writing has basically, I like to say it saved me because it's an outlet that I use. And if it wasn't for that, I'd have so much bottled up inside of me and I wouldn't know how to express myself. And I'm very grateful for writing because sometimes I can put things into words. Hi, Billy. Sometimes I can put things into words that I can't necessarily put into words when I speak.
How do you deal with the anxiety getting on stage? I've seen that grow, in the last 2 years with you. Is there something that you do? Is there a ritual?
I'm actually calmed down when I go on stage. Going on stage calms me down. I get stressed though before going on stage because often I feel bombarded because I got a lot going on. I got to set up and everyone's coming in and you got to go from person to person to person. So that's a little bit stressful, but I enjoy it. And a lot of people who come to see me, they know this and they make it so much enjoyable and make it so much easier for me. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Right.
But going onto stage, it's my favorite thing. It gives me so much, it gives you a boost of adrenaline, a boost of energy. Playing for all these people, just really, really great. I love it. Makes me very happy.
Right. And that's how you're channeling things. Giving a chance, you're giving a chance to tell your stories.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm very grateful for it. Thank you. I just love the stage. It's the one place where I feel like I can just do this.
Would you rather be on stage than in the audience? Or mingling with people?
Honestly, I would rather be on stage than the audience because I feel like it's more structured, and I feel like I could just connect to the audience, and it's just easier for me to talk to the audience on stage.
I agree. I'm the same way. I'd rather be up there controlling and, I have my banter and I can talk and connect than having to mingle at like a party with a lot of people. Like,
yeah, mingling, it's only fun. It's only fun really when you're at a show. Yeah. I love mingling with people at shows. Otherwise, I'll pass on the mingling. So it's,
at the last ISA in Atlanta last summer.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of us there, and they had one of their it was a pre-party, right?
That's the kind of mingling I like. I love that pre-party. That pre-party, amazing.
Yeah, but a few of us were like, okay, I don't know if we can handle it. So we did a song circle instead and connected that way. Oh, Eric loves you. He does.
It's okay. Amazing. I love Eric too. Eric, what a dedicated person. Really, so much dedication in him. I wish there were more people like Eric.
Oh, how about Jessica? Like Jessica loves you too.
I love Jessica too. Jessica is Eric's wife.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they come to all my shows. They're amazing people. For anyone who's watching, actually, I don't know how many people are watching right now, and I don't know how many people from Montreal are watching.
We have quite a few people watching on different platforms.
I am playing.
We are on Roku TV as well. This is going to go up on Roku, and again, we go out into France, which is another. It's a radio audience, so they're not going to get to see. So.
You were saying about Isa. So
sometimes I can't handle like the loud noise and the mingling, and a couple of us, we just formed this song circle as our kind of way of connecting.
Yeah, 100%. I love that song circle. I really like the environment at Isa. Actually, that wasn't really mingling. That was more like bonding. Mingling is when you have to talk to like a family reunion. That's what I think of when I think of mingling. That's the kind of mingling I can definitely where you have to talk to people who you don't know and who you have nothing really in common with except for the fact that they held you as a baby and you haven't seen them since you were like 4 years old.
Right. Yeah. It is very stressful.
Yeah, 100%. But I love Isa. I absolutely love Isa, love Tammany, love you, all of you, the whole Isa community. Yeah. That's real connections right there.
Yeah. And I've been with that group for a long time. And I connected with them right as COVID hit.
Yeah, me too. 2020.
And to watch how big it's gotten.
It's huge.
I know.
It's huge now.
All these different artists and stuff, from all over the place,
Oh, yeah.
We need our own handshake or something. So we go somewhere, we have a special handshake so we know.
Wow. Really, they have everybody. It's so big and it's so worldwide, and I love it.
Yeah. It's a very welcoming community.
It really is.
It really amazing. So, all right. Now, I have talked Rachel into playing her last release. We found it on YouTube. So I'm going to share the screen in a second, but tell us about this song.
So the Next Big Invention, I released this a few weeks ago, actually. And this is the title track of my debut album, The Next Big Invention. And the reason why I made this the title track, first of all, it kind of sums up my experience as a songwriter, where you're writing to just get through every point in your life, where you're writing to grow, and when you're writing when you feel lost, but also writing when you feel like you found yourself. And it's about many things. Number one, my love for writing songs. Number two, my love for getting life experience, which is that still something that I strive to do all the time and I dream about, even though I feel like I've been accumulating it. I'm always hungry for life experiences. And it's just about, in general, how anybody can be the next big thing, or anybody can make the next big invention. and how a song, we're not scientists unless you're like,
Elvis Costello, I think or an engineer or something.
I can't think of any examples, but exactly, we're not scientists, but we are creators and we are discoverers, and we can discover things that no one else has discovered through
insight that no one else sees, looking at
Yeah.
different things and different experiences and shaping
Totally.
them in a new way.
That's it.
Which
Yeah.
is an experience. So let's
Yes.
see if I can make this work. Share screen. My share audio hopefully is on.
Let's see. There we go. There we go.
Yep.
There I am.
The next big invention was made. Sitting in my room, I had no big intentions when I wrote that song for you. And then I saw that you forgot. So I picked up my pencil, said I'd be down in a bit. And I wrote about that time back when you treated me like shit, and I was hurt. But we all know it could have been worse. I know genius, but I know that you weren't right for me. No hard feelings, but I know you're not who I want to be. Thanks for the inspiration for the next big invention that you have. The next big invention was made, sitting in my car when the world started healing it. I looked up at the stars and I was fine. We all made it out alive. I looked at the people, my tears started falling down. The sweet child then approached me and said, it's not time to frown, it's time to shine. It's over now, so don't you cry. I know genius, but I know this wasn't right for anybody. No hard feelings, but I know this isn't where I want you. Well, thanks for the inspiration for the next big invention that you'll see. The next big invention was made, lying in my bed when I didn't know the difference between real life in my head full of these thoughts. Took out my phone and wrote a song. I know genius, but I know this wasn't right for anybody. No hard feelings, but I know this isn't where I want to be. Thanks for the inspiration for the next
next big invention that you see.
Oh, it's a great song.
Thank you so much. I love that song. It gives me so much warmth and a reminder of how much I love to write.
Yeah. And that the next best thing is always something you're striving for to better yourself.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but that's super cool. I like how you just phrased that.
You know, because they always ask you what's your favorite song. And it's always the one you're working on. You know, you're always looking for that next idea, that next thing that is going to, spark your interest.
Yeah, 100%. And I like that I wrote that song. I feel like I needed to write that song and I needed to release that song. And now I just need to promote the song. So I'm very, very proud of it. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it and that everyone else in the chat, which I see is enjoying it.
Oh,
Thank you, Eric.
Wait.
Thank you.
That's one of Eric's favorite vocal performances. And you're going to be somewhere Saturday, the Omnivore?
I am. I'm playing a show. For anyone watching in Montreal, I don't know who's watching, but I'm playing a show at Omnivore West Island. And thank you, Mom. I'm playing a show.
You got a new fan. Billy likes you too.
Very cool. Nice to meet you, Billy. I'm playing a show at Omnivore West Island. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. And I'm in the process of posting events of it. So it's up on my social medias for anyone to see. If anyone's free Saturday night, all the info is over there. And yeah, I'm excited. I love playing shows.
How long would it take me to get to Montreal? Road trip.
Road trip indeed. Yeah, that's a pretty far road trip for you.
Yeah, I'd have to bring my dog though.
Oh, you got a dog? That's adorable.
You know what? I think for the last 3 shows, he is snoring behind me. And I'm like living in fear that everyone can hear my poor dog. Like, he's so loud.
What's his name?
Honey.
Hi, Honey. I have a dog too. Her name is B.
Honey just had surgery a month ago.
Oh, how's he doing?
He's doing good. He had his bladder all anyway.
Oh, okay.
Jessica's
that's not
going to be at your show. Jessica's going to be at your show.
I'm very excited to see you and Eric.
So now we have a few more minutes. Where can people find you? What's next for Rachel? What's going to be going on?
So there's definitely a lot going on. First off, you could find me anywhere off of racheldara.com. So all my links are at racheldara.com. But
did your dad do your website?
He did. He really did. Yeah. He made it in 2019 when I first started doing this.
Oh,
and all the links to all my music are over there. All my social medias. I'm Rachel Dara on Facebook with no space. You could just find all my links on my website. We'll put it there. And I'm on all platforms. My 8 songs are on all platforms for anybody to check out. And I have an EP that is soon to be coming. I'm also going to be releasing my first album on vinyl sometime soon. Currently working on that.
Yes. My next show is in a vinyl record store.
That's awesome. Really? I would love to be there.
In Wilmington, Delaware. And I think it's the coolest thing. I can't wait. It's November 30th. It's called the Sweet Box Records. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so cool.
That's so cool. I really wish I could just drive down and just be there. That's a cool environment. That's a place where I want to be in the audience because I want to be watching you.
Yeah, you'll be flipping through. Everyone's going to be flipping through the records and stuff. I don't blame them. It's going to be fun.
That sounds like such a fun show.
I have a record player. I'm going to buy one of your vinyls. I have a record player.
I actually bought a vinyl today. I went thrifting and I bought myself a Krista Berg record for $3. And I'm so happy. Yeah.
That's great.
Very much.
We're actually going to press. I thought of it for Full Moon Rising to do vinyl. I haven't done it yet.
Cool. Oh, my little sister is watching. And I know that because my mom just commented.
Gabby says 10 out of 10 for your last song.
Yeah. Thank you, Gabby. Very cool. Very, very cool. But yeah, lots is coming up. I will be playing the West Island Blues Festivals. I already know that this summer. So this summer is going to be a very intense summer. I'm going to be playing. I already know I'm booked at 3 festivals. Actually 4 festivals because there 5 festivals because there's 4 West Island Blues Festivals. And there's a Fringe Festival that I'm playing at, the Fringe Festival that I mentioned. And I'll also be playing some shows in the U.S., in Syracuse, in the Syracuse area, in the greater New York area, in upstate New York. Very, very excited for the summer. And I'll also be back at the ESO Awards come 2025. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
I look forward to seeing you there.
I look forward to seeing you too and giving you a huge hug because it's been way too long.
It has. It has.
Yeah. Totally.
Amazing. It's been amazing.
It really has been.
Somebody said something about a French one. Who, Sherry?
The French one. Hi, Sherry. What French one? I haven't thought. I don't know the context, but I think she'll explain. I don't know what French one she's talking about. Oh, Fringe. Fringe. She meant the Fringe Festival, but it
maybe. Okay, you can say the Fringe. I have
yes. Yes, the Fringe Festival. I was having these conversations with a few people. They thought I was saying the French Festival. It's the Fringe Festival. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to playing there. There we go. Fringe in the chat. Fringe.
It's Fringe.
Yeah. It's very, very exciting. Speaking of French, Eric just complimented my cover of La Vie en Rose, which I love singing. That's a seems to be a hit at the shows I play. Everybody seems to like that one.
In French, because you're in Montreal. You speak French?
Oui, je suis courant français.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta speak French here. So I speak English and French. My English is better than my French, but I do speak French fluently.
Okay. It's funny, the school I worked at, our French clubs used to take a trip to Montreal. They didn't go to France, they go to Montreal. I was going to get in on it, and they never picked me as a chaperone.
I really don't know enough about my city, so I really should start exploring it. I went downtown to see a mandatory French play for my class, for my French class. And I was so like caught off guard by everything. It was so beautiful. I felt like a tourist in my own city when everybody else who lives in Montreal knows about these places and has seen this. But I was so excited about it because I rarely go out. I'm always doing music and school and I'm always busy. Except for today, I actually went out on a Monday. And now I'm doing this, which is even better. So my day's been amazing so far.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, anyone watching, any artist who would like to be on the ranch, you can go to my website, which is randieoneal.com/shows, and you can apply to be on the ranch, and we can hear some of your amazing music too. So, and I'm taking submissions for holiday songs. Rachel, you have a holiday song?
Unfortunately not, but I'm planning on writing one.
All right. When you do, you're going to send it to me, which is going to be Randie, which is an IE, RANDIE, Randie at blastmusic247.com is my email for all music submissions. So original songs. So I'm surprised you haven't done one yet.
I really need to. I've been talking to Tim Steinreck actually about a holiday song for years, but it just never. It hasn't happened yet, but I need to write a holiday song.
Hit me up. We'll do a holiday song.
Let's do it. That sounds super cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, thanks for being on the show. This is The Ranch. We are here live Mondays Eastern Time. Live Eastern Time at 7:00, and Thursdays on Indie Music Radio in France. So, guys, we'll see you right back here next Monday.
See you next Monday.
Thanks for coming on the show, Dara. You've been great. Hang in there.
Thank you for having me. I love the ranch. Thank you, Randie.
All right. Thank you.
All the best.
I'm on the road. Don't know where it's going.